Good day to you. Good day to you. Today I am attempting a little difficult topic with the background of why do people in great positions of power and even achievement behave like orphans? And how can a nation feel like an orphan? How can you have a corporate persona of that of an orphan and having much but denying? So in this time of conflict and trouble, I like to approach this topic. So those who are orphan always have a defined relationship of serving a master whom they don't like. They feel their life is out of their control and someone else is controlling their life, and so they have this thing about rebelling against a master. Probably they had a fatherhood fracture, sometimes a mother fracture. So their sense of, even when they become fathers, they are at home also, they are more like a commander or a master than a father. So they will count the times son did wrong and will remind many times, because that's what they have got also. Reminiscences of what went wrong rather than celebration of what the son did right or the daughter did right. So this thing of the master-servant relationships, so living life as if we are doing wages rather than a gift. Wages, a wage earner has the sense, I do so much, I get so little. The one who gets a gift has a sense of gratitude and enjoying the gift. So wage earner, even when he's well paid, may not enjoy the wage because it's the dues he got, my just deserts or my just dues, because I worked hard and this is all I got, I should have got more. Secondly, the orphan is independent and self-reliant. He can't trust anybody else. He has to do it himself. So someone may get to the, climb up, right up the ladder, but be very self-reliant and can't trust or delegate anybody to do anything properly. So in that sense, he only uses people in work. They don't know to build up people in work, because that person has in their life paternal and maternal roots of fracture. And they will not acknowledge need, though very needy. They feel it's infra-dig to acknowledge need. They will pretend self-sufficiency, and they will not know to receive help or ask for help. So we have to overcome this attitude in your spouse, in your junior, or sometimes even in your senior. Though they don't ask for help, be available for help. Whereas we should learn to be interdependent, acknowledge our neediness, get help from others, and give helps to others. So the orphan lives by the love of the law, always legalistic. You didn't do this, you should have done this. So they'll read out the law, the lex talionis, that is law of the tooth, tooth for tooth, eye for eye, and so on. But a son lives by the law of love. Then the orphan, fourth point about the orphan, is insecure and lacks peace. He does not know whether he has achieved enough. Even when he is very well achieved, he feels there's much more to achieve and there's another summit to climb, and someone else's summit is higher than my summit, I must get there. And he might even use methodology to pull that man down and himself go up. Whereas the Good Shepherd created us to be sons, and we give and take, and we help each other. We don't think we have to push someone down for us to go up. But the orphan feels like that. He does not know rest and peace. He becomes a workaholic, brings many files home, and he's only happy if he has work to do. That's the nature of the orphan. Now it may go as industry, in fact he may achieve quite a bit, but inside him he's a man of discontent, not having arrived. However many medals he gets, however many degrees he earns behind his name, he feels he has still not arrived. So he's always striving. So he will often strive for praise, approval, and acceptance of man. Therefore, however much he gets, he may have an attitude of, I did not get enough. And when you seek the approval of man, you are always discontent. You don't know whether you got enough. But a son is meant to be totally accepted in the Father's love, and he works with grace and gratis rather than with demand. Fifthly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 now. A need for personal achievement as you seek to impress everybody around you, and if you are the religious kind, you might want to impress God also with a great ritual, great vow and so on. Promise God a bride for more advancement in your professional career or business, and you can be opportunistic. Then there is no motivation to serve, but it's a motivation to advance. To that end, you can do all what you do. Then a son is, he serves with motivated by deep gratitude for what he has received and unconditionally loved and accepted. That's how a son thinks. Acceptance makes him to do well. The orphan feels there's no end to how much I have to perform. So orphan lives, perform or perish, swim or sink. And he may use words like that with his juniors. And because that's his inner language, he's using words like that in his inside. Duty and earning favor. That is his, he has to earn everything rather than pleasure and delight, relaxation, leisure, he does not know. Because he feels leisure is waste of time. I must get ahead of others. Always there's attitude of getting ahead of others. Not that you're achieving your best, which is all what we all should work for that, but to get ahead of others. He doesn't realize there may be others who are 4 talent, 5 talent, when he's only 3 talent. He is not satisfied with what he has achieved. Then comes, he needs to always feel a shortfall that he has to gap up. So we have a good wise statement, all have fallen short of a glory we once had, sort of thing. That is our good shepherd's image and how he would do it for us. So we can always be clamoring for a glory brighter than someone else's, more shining, and we may pay a very costly price in our health, family life, personal relationships, in striving for this elusive, brightest kind of thing, you know. So that's how it hinders intimacy really, because it's not a relationship of understanding, of give and take, help another. Even in marriage, it's a relationship of how does that serve my end, for me to get ahead. This drivenness of get ahead is all the time working in his inside. Then there's often self-rejection from comparing yourself to others. So often is always in that mode of, I failed because someone else did better. But whereas the son is positive, affirm, because you know your value, worth intrinsically, because Good Shepherd gives to each one of us the best that we can be. So there is a peace and a resting in that. Because of this drivenness and dopamine being so high, and then serotonin might be trying to achieve a reward, but you don't feel rewarded. You feel driven. So dopamine gets very worked up, and dopamine can get into addictive mode. I'm Dr. Lalith Mendis. If you want more scientific and recent clips, please send me a WhatsApp to 076 313 4800. 076 313 4800. You can also download my app Golden Nuggets from Google or from App Store, which has many similar topics. But today I felt is a very special topic at a time like this, when our nation is at crossroads and so many people don't know how to get their future. So when you are driven, dopamine driven, you seek comfort in counterfeit affections, addictions, compulsions, escapisms, busyness, hyper-religious activities. Whereas the one who is content and in your sonship, when you are satisfied, when you are appreciated, you seek times of quietness, solitude, to restfully commune with your inside and know your Good Shepherd a little more. Then In the orphan side, there's competition, rivalry, jealousy towards others' success and position, as I said before, always trying to get ahead. He has this hunted feeling. What he did not get hunts him. He's constantly after a prey and after a goal. There's no resting time at all. Whereas the son feels humility and unity in teamwork, and others' success is my success. So you value others and you are able to rejoice in the blessings and success of others as well. Then the orphan gets into accusation, exposure in order to make yourself look good, indictments by making others look bad, and you have in your mouth you have put downs in your words. Whereas a son love covers as you seek to restore others. You give a hand up, you pick up others, you stoop down and help another to come up, because you feel the world has enough space, enough time, enough promotion. So we work with our Heavenly Father's attitude of He has given us a good gift, and that good gift He's working it out with us to make it a complete gift. So we are always knowing that there's something more. In its time, He makes all things beautiful in His time. So we work at that pace, we are diligent, but we have a restful rhythm in us that helps us to get us to the next post. Certainly we are goal-oriented, but the orphan often feels the goal has come up again and again and again. So the orphan sees authority as a source of pain, distrustful towards them, and lack a hard attitude of submission. He feels authority is there to somehow get my own end. I'm just biding my time till I get to that slot. That's what an orphan feels. The son is respectful, honoring. You see them, those who are senior to you, as ministers appointed for your advancement, to take good care of you, and that they will deliver to you what is good for your life. I have only a few more points. I'll be finished soon. Orphan has difficulty in receiving admonition. He thinks it's against you. When some good advice is given, orphan feels it's against me. It's not against you. It is that you might do better, and others, your seniors, may see things that you don't see from another perspective. So the orphan wants to be always right. So they get easily hurt feelings, and they close their heart to anyone else. But the son feels admonition is a blessing, that there is a need in your life, that your faults and weaknesses are found out, not to put you to death, but to help you up. Yes. The orphan is guarded and conditional based on others' performance as you seek to get your own needs met all the time. Whereas a son can be open, patient, affectionate, as you lay your life and agendas down in order to meet the needs of others, and you feel you can advance together. World has enough space and time and enough resources to be shared. The orphan can appear conditional and distant. His heart does not know whom is he safe with. But a son knows whom he is safe with. Orphan is in bondage, a son is in liberty. Now you understand the human race, isn't it? Always there's a war within, and there are weapons that are being formed. I better sharpen my skills and talents to get the better of someone else. Drawn swords, yes. That is not how a son feels. So the orphan is often a servant and a slave all the time, striving, working hard. But the other side of life is to do it as a son and a daughter. So ambition is good, but for the orphan, ambition drives him all the time. So it is striving and striving. Whereas the son knows his daily portion, sufficient is the industry of the day they are unto, and God is a rewarder of them that diligently seek. Yes. So the son works with a reward motive, and the orphan often gets into an anti-reward motive. He says, fight for what you can get. So he's on a fight, flight, fright mode. Sonship, on the other hand, releases your inheritance, and you feel you have a great legacy. Orphan feels, I have to do it in do or die is my style. I hope this helped you. If you need any other clips on science or this kind of sociological aptitudes, please send a WhatsApp to 0763134800. I am Dr. Lalith Mendis, and my app is Golden Nuggets. It's downloadable free from Google or App Store. Thank you for listening. Good day to you. I want to take up today some issues that to follow through with my last clip on orphan roots of rebellion. Have you ever considered what happens if two needy people enter marriage wanting their demand supply rather than mixing and matching the demand supply of each other? I'll repeat my question. What if two people who are very driven by their own need marry, and they each one says, supply my demand? This is the orphan modality of entering into marriage. And with the digital screen in a digitized generation, which increases always the my need, my perception, my demand. That's how dopamine says, do it till you get on with the thing you want to do. There's no give and take reward motive of doing it together. That's what the design by the Good Shepherd has put to us, this default mode network of thought, which is for initiation, navigation, successful ongoing work, and it's lap by lap. Each lap is taken with a reward motive that the last one was done well, and receiving a baton handed over after completing, and then the reward goes on day by day, month by month. All these problems accentuate by 43, because by 43 for most parents the season from success to significance begins. And at 43, generally your firstborn will be 14 years old. And my appeal is, please do all you can at that stage when your firstborn is 14 to concentrate on home more than your success and your business or your career and profession. So things come to a crunch at 43 or 44, 45 for that matter. So some people call it half-life threshold. And at that time, what you need to do is take safeguards that the orphan does not get the better of your sense of belonging and identity of belonging together in the family values you created. So this, as I said, at 40 certain other things kick in, hereditary or inherited diseases like hypertension, having to be treated for something, diabetes, asthma, all those things also accentuate the problem of you thinking of only yourself. So of course you have to get ready before time, identifying the roots of the orphan in you, because marriage is a covenant to get the best for each other. So the word used is kinsman redeemer. What's not in her, I supply. What is not in me, she supplies, and that's the mode. So the covenant said, be fruitful. That is, you put together to bear the fruit of the next generation, your progeny. Then it said, be fruitful and multiply. You're thinking of increasing each other's life and getting into the next generation, which is the produce of marriage. So in a society where marriage is run down, fidelity is run down, sticking with one partner is not a highly valued situation, all this fall into arrears. And arrears begin debt extracting. She says, you owe me. You say, she owes me. And this you owe me, thing continues. You know, in office we give IOU chits. When you take some money, you have to return the rest. So in life also, rather than I owe you, it becomes a you owe me. Many incidents have accumulated. The other aspect is, when youthful drive is over, the old roots play up, roots of your background. So marriage, love and romance covered up quite a bit in the initial years, but then the old roots show up. You know what it is, if you build a house without removing the roots, the old roots down there may pop up and crack the foundation. This can happen for marriage, family and home. So we have to take stock of what are the roots that are playing in our life, producing offshoots that are becoming a loranthus. They are removing the life out of our marriage union, where we had to do it together. Each one now fights for survival. And easily man slips back into struggle for existence and back into fittest surviving mode, demanding for yourself, when we leave God the Good Shepherd out of who supplies what can be supplied. So you need to consider this. When in marriage problems come up, what happens is husband refers to his upbringing of mother loss or mother fracture that makes you internally fractured, and in turn you are not strong in inner relationships. Therefore you have a lot of brashness and bravado about the outside things you do. Then on the other hand, when father fracture is there, you are hesitant about the things you have to do outside. So to take new challenges or to face up for an interview, you feel you were not equipped, because that's dad equips you to take on the outside world, mom equips you to take on the inside world. That is how we are designed. So to be fruitful, multiply and fill and fulfill the portion the two of you got together to fill and fulfill. So if you are too bent on your career, she's bent on her career, then you are doing an isolated track which is going to show signs of crack up sooner than later, I would say. So this, when the child is 14 years or when your firstborn is approaching 14 years, it is like test time, check out time before that happens, to strengthen your time together with each other, and what needs to be. If you need coaching, you need to get into coaching. So if you would send me a WhatsApp number, I'll connect you with a good life coach, internationally certified, 076-313-4800. Also, I have spoken extensively on the effect of the digital screen on character, choices, curriculum and career. So for more of those clips, you can get me on WhatsApp. Send only a message, 076-313-4800. And for more talks on science and reason, you can also download my app, Golden Nuggets, which is available free of charge from Apple Store and Google. So this was an addition to my talk on the roots of Orphan, regarding marriage and approaching 45, how you get ready for half time and learn to move from success, where you do everything to thrive and compete, to coexistence in your own family, considering the other more than yourself. So that's the half-life change. So today's talk was not exactly about half-life, but approaching half-life with, what shall I say, a good balance of equation where your social equity is due. Many people talk about the financial equity, but not much about social equity, which may drag you into debt emotionally and relationally, which will affect your health, which will affect your performance, which can affect your output in life. So I suppose you take a look at this and get in touch with us. Thank you for listening.